Hi, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Live at the Backyard Bird Center. A program today from the internet, a request about feeding fruit. And I know the picture up here, yes, I know Orioles aren't here right now. And when we think of feeding fruit to wild birds, I think most of you, it pop into mind, you think about your oranges that you offer up for your Orioles in the spring and the summer, or maybe the fruit that's in a birdseed blend like nuttenberry or fruitenberry or one of those, and the fruit pieces in there. Yes, fruit is a part of many birds' diets, and through native landscaping we feed a lot of fruit, especially in the fall whenever a lot of native plants fruit out, and the birds take advantage of that. But the question came up about feeding fruit this time of year. And the one, is it okay to do that? Well, how do you do that? So thought that'd be a quick little program. It'd be great to do that. There is a couple of things about feeding fruit this time of year. And there's not quite as many, birds are not used to eating fruit in winter, and especially in mid to late winter. I think their fruit supplies have drawn up for them. But there are some great birds that will eat fruit, and we have a couple of famous stories. But when we feed fruit, there's lots of different kinds of ways to do it. And so then there's no right or wrong ways to feed fruit, but put that right there for now. But a lot of people will feed fruit from their refrigerator or from their personal stores that are starting to go bad. Maybe they bought a large bunch of grapes, and the grapes are getting old, and they don't want them as much, so they'll take them and put them out for the birds. This is a Tennessee warbler on a bunch of grapes. And then I want to show this picture, a bunch of grapes, and this is a female rose-breasted grosbeak eating on that. And then another Tennessee warbler eating on oranges. And then apples. Apples are something we don't think as much about feeding birds. I've never had a ton of luck offering apples up. I do it every once in a while, especially if I've got apples that are going bad, going older. I cut them and I put them out in my bird feeder station. You can spike them on things. You can just put them up in a tray. But there are a lot of birds that will eat on apples. And it's red-bellied woodpecker here, and in cardinals, I've seen them shave on apples before. So there are different ways to do that. But a couple of ways that, again, it's kind of out of the box thinking that has been done, and so with some great results, and even surprising results. And that is someone who I have a customer pictures here that had a bunch of blueberries and raspberries and fruit that was starting to get old. And so she just put them in a dish, like a Pyrex dish, and she set it on her deck railing. And lo and behold, she had a group of cedar waxwings come in and started eating the fruit right out of the bowl on her deck. And that's really cool. I mean, cedar waxwings are beautiful birds, and they're birds that they're not going to eat any bird seed, but they are fruit-loving birds. And so instead of throwing those excess blueberries and stuff away, she put them out in the dish, and she had luck with that. Mockingbirds, gray catbirds, there's lots of birds that fruit is an important part of their diet that would take advantage of something like this. It's just not something that we regularly think about doing. Now, one year, many years ago, Judy, a customer here now, was a customer way back then, got a call from Dale, who at the time said, I have a customer who said she has, I think maybe a warbler at her bird feeders. And so I called her. I was at Martha Lafitte at the time, and I drove over to her house, and this is in January, and there are hardly any warblers supposed to be around here in January, and probably yellow runt would be the only one, but she was convinced it wasn't. And I got to her house, and this bird was on her deck. This is a picture that was taken by Jim Rathard of the Conservation Department. Tilt it a little bit forward. Okay. And what she had done is she had some grapes and some berries in her refrigerator that were going bad. She put them in a Pyrex pie pan, and she put it out on her deck and on the picnic table. And it rained, and the water gathered in there, and so basically made grape juice, so fruit juice in there. And this bird, a Cape May warbler, which should have been in the Bahamas in January, came up and was drinking the fruit juice out of the dish on her plate. She was very happy. She was very excited. She was allowed me to put it on the internet, and people from all over came to see this bird in her backyard. They're very hard to see here in the breeding in migration season, and never in the breeding season, and definitely not in January. So that was an example of offering up fruit, thinking outside of the box, and it got something very, very special in her yard. So that was very, very cool many, many years ago. So this Cape May warbler, that you can't expect that every day, I think, that's for sure. So feeding fruit, feel free to do it. I mean, the birds that will take advantage of it will be very thankful for you. Now, not a lot of people go out and buy fruit specifically to do that, but especially if you've got some grapes that are going bad and things like that.
Moldy.
Yeah, definitely not moldy. You just, they're starting to get soft and mushy, and you're not going to eat them. You can put them out, and the birds will peck on them. They'll come and eat them and take advantage of it. So feeding fruit, especially here in the winter months. So it's a great idea for a program. Please send in ideas for more programs, if you will. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. That helps us out a lot. Until then, send in more ideas, and we'll talk birds.